Are we done lying to ourselves? Are we done making excuses for this team? Are we done pretending that they're any good? Please, comment below. Let me know. Are we all happy that we beat the Falcons last week? That was supposed to change the culture. That was supposed to teach this team how to win close games. Because the Dolphins walked in here and we went back to our default settings of losing by 14 points. You were down 21-7 in the first quarter. 21-7. The offense, once again, is incapable of doing anything productive. This is the same game. This is the same thing we've watched for the last decade. The offense cannot get out of their own way. They cannot do anything. And the defense has to play perfect. And in the blink of an eye, you're down 14-0. And the only reason why the Jets had 10 points in this game was because of special teams. Isaiah Williams running back a kickoff. Only reason. This team is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And they need a lot of pieces. They need a lot of bodies. And they need a coaching staff that's going to develop these guys the right way. And they need a quarterback. Brady Cook's not ready. I don't know if he'll ever be ready. But from what I saw yesterday, I'm surprised he put his helmet on the right way. 163 yards, less than 50% completion percentage, and 2 interceptions. Breece Hall, 14 carries, 43 yards. Mason Taylor was the leading receiver with 5 receptions for 51 yards. The Dolphins had more total yards, 358 to 207. They had more rushing yards, 239 to 65. And their average yards per play were 5.7 to 3.6. I'm not going to get too much on the defense here. The defense played bad. But there were multiple times they were given short fields. And there were multiple times Tua could have very easily thrown at least 2 pick sixes. He had a red zone interception by Brady Cook, a horrendous throw. And you gave up a short field on more than one occasion. So I'm not going to get too much on the defense here because you cannot play with just half a football team. The offense has to do something. When you're constantly going 3 and out, the defense never has to get a chance to rest, never has a chance to get a breath, never has a chance to look at those tablets to try and figure out what the offense is doing. Defensive coaching staff doesn't have time to make adjustments until halftime because the offense is out there for 4 plays, and they're out, and the defense is right back out there. You're lucky if you get a TV timeout. Everything is predicated off the offense. You cannot win in this league unless you can move the ball and score points. And this game, while from a draft perspective, yes, it's good that they lost, just shows you how far they need to go. And Darren Muji has a lot of picks to do a lot of work here. He has a treasure chest of first-round picks in order to change this team. But now, since you beat the Bengals by 1 point, decided to run back 2 kicks in the Browns game, and won a game against a 4-win Falcon team and claimed it was culture building, you sit 7th. You sit 7th. The current draft order is Giants, Vegas, Tennessee, Cleveland, New Orleans, Washington, and then the Jets at 7, with Arizona right on our heels at 8. The average, I believe the ESPN is predicting the Jets will have probably the 4th overall pick when all is said and done. There's 4 games left. But if you want to get a quarterback and you want to get Mendoza after what you saw on Saturday, after how he played in the Big Ten Championship, after how Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, and Matt Patricia didn't matter for Ohio, Mendoza went down there, scored the go-ahead touchdown. And in the final drive of that team's final drive, Indiana's final drive, went down and threw a beautiful ball to Becker down the sideline to basically seal the victory. That kid has got ice in his veins. If you want to move up to get him right now, you have to pay a lot in draft capital. You have to pay a lot. Look at the history of teams that have had to move up from 7 back to get up to 1st or 2nd. Look at the history of it. You're going to have to give up, obviously, this year's one, the Colts one, probably a high number one next year in 2027, and a second round pick or possibly a player in order to move up from 7 right now to 1 if the Giants are willing to move out of it, which they should be willing to move out of it. But you need to pray, as a Jet fan, you need to pray that Vegas does not get that number 1 overall pick because they need a quarterback and they will immediately draft Fernando Mendoza. Immediately. And they are not going to trade with you. You really think Tom Brady is going to trade with the New York Jets to hand the Jets a franchise quarterback? A potential franchise quarterback? No way. That's not going to happen. It's just not. And if we stay at 7, if the board stays this way for the next 4 weeks, which it won't, but let's just say it does, Fernando Mendoza would probably go to Vegas. You could see Cleveland or Tennessee taking quarterback. I can see New Orleans taking quarterback. And by the time Jets pick at 7, Fernando Mendoza, Simpson, and Dante Moore are all gone. And then what do? Take the best wide receiver? Sure. Maybe take an edge? Sure. Trade down? Sure. But you may never have a pick like this high, at least for this administration, for this regime. They may not have another opportunity with a top 10 pick if they believe in themselves and they're going to make the roster better as a whole. You have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 seasons, 2 drafts. You're telling me that if you hit on those picks, the team is going to get worse and they're going to have another top 5 pick? No. The team will be just good enough to stay outside the top 10, and we're going to be in quarterback hell for the next decade plus. This team has yet to take it seriously and just bottom out and get the quarterback. And I understand the history of taking quarterbacks high and how they don't potentially work out. But that doesn't mean you don't take the pick. That means you don't draft the guy. I mean, look at the 2018 class. Baker Mayfield went first. The Jets took Darnold. You had Josh Allen in that draft. And the ugly duckling there was Josh Rosen. So if you had a top 7 pick like the Buffalo Bills did to move up, you were guaranteed a good quarterback. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, while it took them some time, are really good quarterbacks in this league. I don't know. I hate this argument that winning these games late in the season builds character and teaches this team how to win, because it never does. It hasn't for any team. There is no carryover in wins and culture from winning meaningless games in December into the next season, all the way in September of the next year. It doesn't happen. There is so much turnover in the league. There are 30 expiring contracts, something like that on the Jets. 20 to 30 expiring contracts. This team is going to look completely different in 2026. You'll still have the core guys there, but the guys that are really lifting the weight of this team, 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, the guys that you need to contribute, they're going to be different. And a lot of guys are not going to be here. And that culture is going to melt away at the end of the season. You have to rebuild this, and you have to rebuild that tenacity every single offseason until you get to the point where you're such a good team, like the Kansas City Chiefs, like the Baltimore Ravens, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like the Patriots, where it is ingrained in the culture, it is ingrained in the building. We don't have that. We haven't had that ever. You had that a little bit building when Parcells was here in the late 1990s. You had a little bit of it, and it carried over into the early 2000s, but that was it. That was it. This team needs a quarterback. This team needs a quarterback so badly. And yesterday was just more evidence of it. Tyrod Taylor is a fine veteran backup. He cannot start a full season. Groin injuries are just really bad to come back from. I want to see Brady Cook play the rest of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if they asked Justin Fields to start and he told them to go scratch. If anything, I hope that happens. I don't want Justin Fields anywhere near here. I'd rather see Brady Cook play because A, I know he's going to probably lose those games. And B, I want to see at least what he has. Is he competitive? Can he be a backup in the future? I want to know what he is. I want to see uh, um, how he prepares in a full week. We haven't seen that. He got thrown in there because Tyrod got hurt. The Justin Fields experiment has failed. This team is trying to bottom out and they can't because special teams decided to have a few games here where they went off. If we had lost to the Falcons or the Browns or the Bengals, if we had lost one of those games and only had 2 wins, look at the draft board. We would be sitting second right now and would have a fantastic opportunity to pick the quarterback of the future. And now, if you want to move up, you're going to have to pay a lot in draft capital to do it. And that's going to hurt the team in other ways. The perfect scenario was to get a top 3 pick, which could still happen, but it is going to be hard. Tennessee winning and New Orleans winning sure helped, but Vegas is the problem now. The Vegas and the Giants play each other in a few weeks. That game is going to be crucial, absolutely crucial to the top of this draft. You need to pray that Vegas wins that game. You want the Giants up there because they don't need a quarterback. They have Jackson Dart. They don't need a quarterback. They're going to want to get more picks to help him and to help a new coaching staff coming in. It is prime opportunity for the Jets to move up with the Giants for the first overall pick. But I need more losses from the Jets. I need more losses from this team because if you keep winning, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to move up. It's that simple. We have Jacksonville. Jacksonville should absolutely destroy us. They are playing very well right now. Then you have the Saints. And with the Saints winning against the Buccaneers, I don't know. I thought we were gonna win the Saints game. Now I don't know. That could certainly be a loss. Then you have the Patriots, who could be resting people if they've locked in the first overall seed. And then you have the Bills, who could also be sitting people if they know they're in the playoffs. There is the potential of winning 2 of these last 4 games. And that would just be disastrous for draft position. That the potential to completely remake this team goes away if you have to spend that much draft capital and move up. And I don't want to hear about they should just wait till 2027, because if you do make the team any better, then you're not going to be in this position in 2027. You're not going to be close enough to the top to trade. You're going to be in the same position. Same position. And you think Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to go another season? They're going to be able to sell Woody Johnson on another bottoming out season, 4 or 5 win season, and then take the quarterback? They are going to be on the hot seat if they're not already, and us fans are not going to be able to put up with it anymore. The stands are empty as it is now. Empty. God bless to anybody who went to the game yesterday. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you pay for that ticket and that parking fee to watch that. And by the way, the jerseys were horrendous. They looked terrible on TV. They looked, they looked. You had a manhole sewer cover panel pattern on the sleeve, and the jerseys on TV looked shit brown. And they played right up to that color. They played right up to the meaning of those jerseys, in my opinion. And we get to watch those jerseys, I think, for the next 2 seasons. They're going to be alternates for these rivalry jerseys are going to be alternates. I think I read for the next 2 seasons. They are just, it's so bad. And the team played up to what those jerseys look like. Again, final thoughts. Brady Cook should play the rest of the season. Tyrod should back him up. I don't want to see Justin Fields anywhere near this team. I think Brady Cook will play bad enough to lose the games, but will be able to understand what type of quarterback he is, what type of player he is, and see if he can actually be a backup in this league. I don't think it's going to happen. The future quarterback on this roster is not on this team. And you have to pray to God that the Las Vegas Raiders do not get that number 1 overall seed pick. Because if they do, you can kiss Mendoza goodbye. And then you're going to be trying to trade somewhere between 2 and 4 to move up and get either Dante Moore or Ty Simpson if they come out. But Alabama made the college football playoffs. Oregon also obviously made the playoffs. We're going to get to see them play more. We're going to be able to see Mateer play more. Oklahoma also made it. We're going to see these guys play a little bit more here. We're going to be able to maybe get a fuller picture of what these guys are. But I know what Mendoza is. And he is the prototypical quarterback that I think Tanner Angstrom needs in this offense. And I can only hope to God that the Jets figure out some way to either lose out these games, bottom out, get the highest pick you can, and then eventually trade up to the first overall pick and get him. Because Vegas is there, Tom Brady's not gonna help the Jets out in any way. No way is he going to. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the game yesterday. Do you guys watch these games? I watch them almost as if I'm almost like it's a comedy show. I watch these games as if I'm almost laughing as I watch them. It's crazy. Thanks for watching.